Welcome to the Glow Getters podcast. My name is Kayla Fahey-Ahrndt, and I'm your host. I teach and inspire leaders to step into their productive selves and find their true potential. I'm a passionate creative and scientist with over 8 years of healthcare leadership experience. At age 25, I stepped into my first management role and didn't find the leadership advice I was looking for. So here I'm giving you the tools to end burnout and enjoy a vibrant career and life. Glad you're here to learn and grow with me. Now, on with the show. Hey, what's good, Glow Getters? Welcome to the Glow Getters podcast. I am pumped that you're here. Happy Friday, TGIF, right? I think that we all want to enjoy and love our jobs, and at the same time, there's nothing wrong with taking a break and looking forward to the weekend. I think that's a healthy balance. So actually, today's topic is going to be called TGIF, Structuring Your Fridays for Success, or Finding Friday Flow. So I'm going to be talking more about that. But first, I have two housekeeping items. The first one is I'm doing this new thing. You're going to hear it in the outro or the exit reel of this podcast. But I would really love for you to leave me a rating and especially a review, because then I know exactly what you're loving and taking away from this podcast, what I could talk more about so that I can be more on topic and, engage more with you guys. So if you can please leave a rating or review, preferably a review with some comments so I know who you are, that would be amazing. You can do it right in your Apple Podcast app, or you can go to iTunes if you don't use Apple Podcasts. It takes 2 seconds. I know myself, I put it off for other podcasts I loved and listened to for a long time. So just do me a favor and go leave one. And as an incentive, I'm going to draw a name each week from all the people that leave a review. And I will send you, I will shout you out on this podcast, and I will send you something special in your email. So once I shout you out, I'll ask you to DM me your email or email me your email so I can get you some treats, some goodies just to say thank you. All right, so that's my seconds of desperation there. Rating and reviewing does help the podcast get seen by more people, and I really want to spread the message and make sure I help as many folks as that I can. So if you can help me do that, I would love it. All right, the second piece of housekeeping is on October 4th, I am launching the Leader Toolkit course. So I've talked about it in the last couple podcast episodes. If you've missed it, I gave a full spiel in episode 83, I believe, and 84. And so I just want to reiterate for you guys what's up with that. So back when I started the Leadership Collaborative last year in 2020, I built a course within it. It was called the Leader Toolkit course, and it had 4 modules. Your custom learning plan, intentional time, know yourself and know your people, and get results. And it's a really awesome curated course that's self-paced with videos that I've made guiding you through each module, and PDFs and course material that's downloadable for each module, as well as any downloadable files that you're going to need. I give templates, anything that I think you're going to need for the course. And the course really helps you set the foundation for being a really self-aware leader, being very organized. And just like each module says, it's learning about the culture of your team, your organization, being very intentional with your time, getting lots of things done in a productive, healthy, efficient way, knowing yourself, self-awareness, and getting to know your folks so you can help them grow themselves, and then getting results through your team, through other people, through the different strategies and tools that you use. So this is a great course for young professionals just starting out in their career, or if you're in a new role, or maybe you've been in the leadership, position for a while, and you just want to brush up and maybe find some new tools or structure, or maybe reevaluate, where am I at on my journey? How much do I know about my team? Where can I dig deeper in getting results and using things like leader standard work or visual management? So on October 4th, this course is going to be open. It's a $50 course, one-time investment, but you also get the course add-on materials or modules. So I already know I want to level up the material. I'm going to add a couple modules on boundaries, perfectionism, purpose, connection, self-belief, communication, etc. Anytime I add something, you're going to have access to it, which is wonderful. So this material will be continuously updated. And then 2, you will also get the Leadership Collaborative Community membership. So where the course lives, you'll also be put into that membership community to be able to ask me questions about the course as you're going through it. You'll have access to me for one-on-one coaching if you want to dive deeper into a specific topic. You'll have access to everybody else who's in the course who is asking questions that you may have that same question. So you can network and meet other members, which is a really awesome opportunity as, we cultivate our networks and try to reach across and learn, like what are other folks doing. And so this is one-time investment, but once you purchase the course, you have access to all the modules, all the add-ons, the community, and me. So it's awesome. I changed up my membership course or my membership community a little bit to make it more accessible to all of you. So I'm super excited about it. So if you're interested in it, you'll want to join my email list that you can find it in the show notes or the link in my Instagram bio at Kayla Fahey-Ahrndt. Join my email list, and I will be sending you out an email to let you know when the waitlist for the course is open. The reason I'm doing a waitlist is so that I can send you details with exactly what the course is. Here's how to sign up. Here's how to be prepared. So you can decide and have all the information at your fingertips in a really, really organized, nice way to be ready when it launches on October 4th. All right. I hope you will check it out. If you are more of a visual person, by the time this launches, I'll have posted on my Instagram feed about this with some infographics, and I'll already probably have sent an email out. So make sure you join the list like right now. Make sure you join the email list yesterday so that you can hear more about the course. All right. So on to today's topic, all about creating flow on Friday to find success. All right, so we know that during the week, your days may fill up very quickly with meetings. At least that's how it is for my leadership journey. And again, you could probably hear my dog's collar and her little click-clack as she walks across the floor here in the dining room. Anyways, you might find that your days fill up with meetings. You might find that you are taking a lot of time to mentor other folks. Maybe you are sitting in on talks or presentations or learnings. So the next question is when do I get my work done? And I know that's what a lot of leaders struggle with. They say their checklist is a mile long and they're always kind of digging out of their to-do list. And I'm not here to tell you or, create a way for your to-do list to be never ending. I'm just here to let you know, it probably will always have stuff adding to it. However, there is a way that you can create intentional time, and this is something that I teach in the course, but I'm kind of putting a new spin on it here on the podcast, is you can create intentional time, focused time to work on things that are going to move the mark or the needle forward for you. So what do I mean when I say that? When you think about the work you do for the organization you work for, whether that's yourself or maybe it's a company, whether it's a nonprofit or a private company, usually you have some goals, some projects that you're working through, some things that you want to accomplish. And oftentimes we're evaluated on how we did for those goals for our performance review. And so there's a couple different types of work that you'll want to focus on when you try to be intentional with your time. The first ones I think you should work on are the ones that have high visibility within your organization, making sure that you're tackling those large problems that might be linked to your performance review. That also means that when you set goals for the year or that are connected to your performance review, they should be really meaningful and they should be very helpful for your team. Make sure they're things that really will help people engagement or the customer experience or efficiency. You really want to focus on things that are going to be aligned with the organizational goals, but also that really matter, not just surface level goals that you can just check off the box. The second kind of work is stuff that maybe isn't, directly related to you meeting your performance goals, but it might be things that indirectly help you meet those goals or help out your team, things that other people need from you. So if you are a leader, oftentimes your job is to help eliminate barriers for your other leaders or your frontline staff. And so if you can focus your work on moving things forward that are going to help improve the situation for your team, I think that's always very important work. And again, it's highly visible and it helps you move the needle forward. That's how you can decipher, is this something that I should dedicate intentional time, either daily, weekly, or monthly to, or is it just like a task that I need to check off the box here or there? So I like to create intentional focused time blocks every day or weekly or monthly, depending on the thing. And I'll categorize them as strategic goals. So the two things I've talked about are what I call strategic goals. And I call them out separately on my calendar this way to get myself in the mindset to remember, this is something I really want to make sure I don't have to move. If I do have to move it, that's okay, but make sure it does get rescheduled. And this is really important stuff. And I think when other people see your calendar and it says strategic goals, they're like, oh, she's really working on something important. Better not block over it. You can just schedule a meeting with yourself, make it a time block for an hour or however long you need to chip away at that goal. And I specifically wanted to call out Fridays for this because I find that, let's be real, who wants to meet on a Friday, especially a Friday afternoon? Not many people, right? It does happen, right? There's always that person that's like, let's meet on 3:00 at Friday because I'm open. And you're like, but why? Because at the end of the week, you can argue that's probably when your brain power is the least available to you, right? So I find that Fridays tend to remain mostly open when it comes to meetings for me. And over time, as I've asked people, hey, maybe we could schedule it earlier in the week, or maybe we can move it to early next week, I've been able to keep Fridays pretty open. And so I just started blocking the whole day for myself for focus time. And then I'll break it into little chunks of strategic goal or strategic work time. And I call it my Friday flow. And it's so funny because people are always like, Friday is so exciting because it's the weekend, but also how am I going to work today? I just want to be done. But I found that when I know on Thursday night, tomorrow when I wake up and I get to work, I'm going to make my pot of coffee. I'm going to pour myself a cup of coffee and I'm going to sit down and I know the time belongs to me. And I get to do my work and I get to find flow and ease. And honestly, I try to make it one of my more fun days where I play music. And so now that I work from home a lot, I find that it's pretty easy to play music or podcasts in the background. I love to listen to cafe music, corny jazz music, or even there's some really amazing fall YouTube playlists with autumn themed, piano. But also today I'm listening to Amazon and I'm listening to dance radio. So I try to make it fun. I try to find flow and I try to time block for my strategic goals. Now, that being said, like I said, I do it on Friday mostly, but I also time block this time throughout the week. Another good way to think about moving the needle forward for yourself and to find flow and success on your Friday or any of the other days of the week is to look at when you meet with your boss. So if you have a one-on-one with your boss, think about, okay, what do they want to know about what I'm doing? And think about what you might want to share with them. And always try to bring something you've worked on or accomplished or something you need help with to your one-on-one. Make sure you're using them as a resource. If you know, okay, hey, I meet with my boss on Tuesday, for example, that's when I meet with my boss. I know that Monday or Friday or even Thursday, I want to be thinking ahead, what progress have I made that I can share with my boss? Because everybody wants to look good to their boss. Everybody wants to be prepared when they come to their boss, right? So it's just a little extra nudge, a reminder oh, I should probably start making sure I've made some progress, little chips away at my strategic goals before I meet with my boss. So that's another way to sort of remember and take pause as to like, what have I done the last week to move the needle forward? So those are my tips for making sure you can move your strategic goals forward. If you set recurring calendar meetings for yourself, this gets easier and easier over time. So say every Monday, Wednesday, you work on X project, and then every Friday you work on X project. Instead of just setting, one-time occurring calendar invitations, make it recurring. Set it for the entire year. And then if you need to move it, you can, but that way it's already on your calendar and it's there, so you don't even have to worry about like, when am I going to work on it? You already have scheduled time. So as I'm hopping into my work and getting my work more standard after a big computer system update, today I took a look and I was like, okay, so what does my week look like going forward? And what do my weeks look like going forward? And I had some focus time blocked, but I was like, yeah, I think I need to shift it to like 15 minutes later because I have a huddle that got added on. So I was able to shift that, and I looked and I was like, hey, you know what? This works for every day of the week at this time most days. So I just made a recurring meeting without an end date. And that if I need to move single instances of that recurring calendar invite, I can do that. The last tip I want to share with you for structuring your Fridays for success, TGIF, is the idea that in order to add these strategic goal time blocks or find Friday flow or, have time Monday, Wednesday, Friday to work on things, you do have to look ahead. So Friday is a great day, especially if you have a Friday flow day where it's open, for you to look at next week and go, what have I got coming up? And you can make sure that if you have a deadline, you can maybe work on it on progress toward it on Friday. Or you can say, oof, I need to move my calendar meetings around. And today would be a great day to do it instead of like Monday morning when you're like, oh, I can't meet with you tomorrow. Sorry about that. It's one extra way to be proactive as a leader. And I will say, as I've gotten busier, my schedule's changed with this computer program update. I haven't been as good as being proactive at looking out further in my calendar, but it's something that I'm slowly getting back to, and it's something that I really love and enjoy. And I think when you are proactive with your calendar, ask people to move things, are aware of what you got coming up, you look more professional. You being proactive makes you more prepared, and you just feel so much better when you walk into your day because you're like, oh, I know exactly what I've got going. Last week I prepared on Friday flow day, and it doesn't feel so reactive. It's way, way more proactive. All right, so in summary, when you are trying to find flow on Fridays, time block the whole day for yourself. Do it in advance. Avoid scheduling meetings on that day, and time block in different chunks for different strategic projects you have so you can find Friday flow or fun Friday and play music, podcasts, quiet, time for yourself, time to enjoy your coffee or your tea, whatever it is. And you know what? Maybe your flow day isn't Friday. Maybe it's Monday. Maybe it's Tuesday. But think about how can you create more flow time that's uninterrupted time for you to work on your own strategic goals. And if you don't feel like that's tangible right now, go out like a month in your calendar and schedule something just for you when nobody else has scheduled a meeting yet. And then when you get there, you're going to be like, thank you, self. This feels so good. I have this whole day to myself. And, it's just, you're just being proactive, finding time to work on the things that are going to bring you success or bring your team success, improve something for the organization or for your front line, for your customer. And it's going to feel super, super good. And make sure you set these reminders for yourself as recurring calendar invitations so that you can just move one-off instances as needed. Otherwise, it's all set and you don't even have to think about it. And lastly, use your Friday to look ahead at the next week to make sure you can find flow the next week. You're proactive about your calendar, you're proactive about meetings, and you feel really confident that you did what you needed to do this week to move the needle forward, and you know exactly what's coming next week. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the rest of your Friday. I hope this was motivational, inspirational for you to find some flow and ease today and just enjoy a fun Friday. And make sure you let me know if you enjoyed this podcast, screenshot it, tag me on Instagram at Kayla Fahey-Ahrndt or at Glow Getters Podcast on Instagram. And maybe let me know what your favorite song or playlist is to listen to on Fun Friday or Flow Friday. I would love to know if you are a music fan or a podcast listener when you're doing your work, or if you prefer silent and quiet, protected time. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I will catch you next week with some more episodes. Until then, be a light. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. I wanted to let you know about something new that I'm doing. If you could please leave me a rating and review on iTunes or write in your Apple Podcasts app, I would so appreciate it. Each week, I'm going to be doing a drawing and sending an email to a winner just to say thank you with some treats, tips, and a little bit of extras, because I really want to get this podcast out to more people, and I want to hear how it's helping you, getting feedback about what you'd love to hear about and what you love about the podcast so I can keep doing that. Also, if you'd like to connect with me on a deeper level, check out my website at glowgetterslife.com. You'll find links to my About Me page so you can learn about me and my journey in leadership. You'll find links to my blog, my podcast for more episodes, and to my YouTube channel. And you can also find links to the templates and leadership planners I've created, as well as my free resource library. All right, thanks so much. And until next time, be a light.